Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Aptitude Tutorials. In this video, you're going to learn about the concept of simple interest in both the percentages method and in formula method as well. Okay, so we know the basic formula of simple interest is PTR divided by 100. SI means I'm referring to simple interest here, and PTR divided by 100. This is the main formula of the simple interest calculation, where P is nothing but the principal that we are investing here to calculate the simple interest, and T is the time period value, and R is nothing but the rate of percentage per annum. Okay, and let us look about this formula in detail. They will not mention that this is the principal value that they kept in the investment and all in any of the questions. By reading the question, we have to check the terminology that is mentioned in the question, and we need to understand which is principal value and which is interest, and what can be the total amount after the calculation of simple interest on the value. Okay, so P is nothing but the investment that we have to take. Rather than calling it as principal every time, try to understand P is nothing but the investment. Whether the investment is made by you or otherwise the investment is made by another person into your account, P is nothing but the investment which is starting this interest calculations. Okay, next T is nothing but the time period. Okay, and R is nothing but the rate of percentage or the rate of percent per annum. Per annum is nothing but per 1 year. Okay, so how this simple interest concept came into existence? Try to understand. As I'm talking that principal is nothing but the investment of calculating the interest, you will be taking certain amount called P, and you will be holding that amount for 2 years with you, and you are going to pay a charge of 10% amount for the principal that you have taken. And as you're keeping that principal or as you're keeping others money with you for 2 years, you have to pay them interest. So that interest rate is nothing but the rate of interest per annum. I have taken it as 10% generally. And as you are taking their money, other people's money, and as you are keeping others money with you for 2 years, you have to pay them the interest. Okay, so this will be the principal which we invested or otherwise which started the interest calculations, and we can call it as investment also. And this is the time period, this is the rate of interest. Using this formula, you have to calculate the interest that you need to pay for the person. Okay, and calculation of interest, you have the formula already, and only thing is investment, time period, rate of interest, that values need to be there to calculate the interest value. So this is with the formula method. Can we solve the same question in percentages method? Yes, we can solve the same question in percentages method also. What is the percentages method? If you see, I'm talking P as the investment or P as the principal value. Okay, and the rate of interest will be calculated per annum, means 1 year every year. So as you can see here, the rate of interest is 10%. If you want to solve the same simple interest question in percentages method, the simple interest is nothing but 10% of the principal or 10% of the investment that you have made. Okay, so rate of interest per annum means you have to pay every year that percent of money out of the principal to the person who from whom you have taken. Okay, let us say if you are taking it for 2 years, for the first year you will be paying 10% of the principal, and that is the simple interest for first year. And for the second year, again the process is the same. You will pay again 10% of the principal that you have taken, and that is for the second year. Okay, so once the total time period is completed, you have to pay the total interest, the simple interest for first year and the simple interest for second year. Okay, so here you can observe one simple point. Simple interest for first year is equal to the simple interest for second year. Why? Because we are not changing the principal value here in the question. Okay. So simple interest for any years is equal, guys. If you take the first year simple interest and 10th year simple interest is going to be equal because there is no change in the principal value. Okay. So interest for every year is equal when you calculate simple interest concept. Okay. So here we have completed calculation of simple interest with formula method and percentages method as well. And now let's try to understand. We are talking the rate of interest per annum, means per 1 year. What if the rate of interest is given in year, but time period is not in years? So let's check here. If the time period is given in months, we know that a year is having 12 months. You can write T divided by 12 in the same formula, PTR by 100. In the place of T, just write T by 12. If they have given it as 8 months, write it as 8 by 12. And formula is the same to calculate the simple interest. And if the time period is given in weeks, you need to write it as T divided by 52 weeks. We know 365 days equal to 52 weeks. Even though it's a leap year, it doesn't matter. You can write T divided by 52 weeks. And if the time period is given in days, T divided by 365. Okay. We know a year is having 365 days. That's why T divided by 365. Though it's a leap year, it doesn't matter. 1 day change will not be bringing so much of difference into the calculation. You can write T by 12 if the time period is given in months. Just write T by 12 in the portion of T in the same formula. And you can write T by 52 for time period in weeks. You can write T by 365 for the time period in days. Okay. So if they're changing the time period, then you can follow the same formula by substituting the respective values for time period. Okay. So till now we have understood how to calculate the interest value using the formula method and using the percentages method. And also when time period is given in different instances, how to calculate the simple interest and all that we have learned. Now let us try to understand the total amount concept. Total amount. So total amount is nothing but the principal that you have invested and the interest that you are paying. Okay. Let's say you have invested a principal P, and with using this formula, calculating the interest for the parameters PTR, you will be obtaining simple interest here. Okay. So along with the simple interest, if you are paying the principal value, then that is nothing but calculation of total amount. Okay. It is simply whatever the amount that you have taken from the person, that is nothing but principal amount that anyways you have to return after the time period. And along with that, you have to pay the interest also. Okay. So total amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. So let's solve a problem. What will be the simple interest earned on an amount of rupees 10,000 in 5 years at the rate of 20% per annum? What will be the simple interest? They're asking us to calculate the simple interest on an amount of 10,000, and 5 years is the time period. Rate of interest is 20%. This is our value and this is time period, and this is nothing but the principal. Okay. By looking at the word amount, it doesn't mean the total amount. If you read out this question, what will be the simple interest earned on an amount of? Okay. So we will earn interest on principal. So that's how we'll take 10,000 as principal value. They're asking us to calculate the value of simple interest. So simple interest is equal to PTR divided by 100. Okay. So that is nothing but 10,000 is the principal. Time period is 5 years. Rate of interest is 20% divided by 100. So cancel out the values. 25s are 100. So 100 into 100. Simple interest is equal to 10,000 rupees. Okay. Option B, 10,000 rupees. And you can solve the same question using percentages method. In percentages method, simply we will take the rate of percentage from the principal, means here 20% from 10,000. Okay. So 20 ones, 25s, 5 ones, 5 2000s. Okay. So this is for how many years, guys? This is for 1 year, or you can say this is a simple interest for first year. Okay. So for 1 year, the simple interest is nothing but 2000 rupees. In the question, you can see the time period is 5 years. If the time period is 5 years, then 2000 multiplied by 5, that is equal to 10,000. Okay. Even if you are using the percentages method, you will be getting the same answer. Okay. And why we prefer this formula method than percentages method in simple interest means, if the time period is given in months or weeks or days, it will be little tricky if we use the percentages method. So for simple interest, let's go by the formula. Simple interest is equal to PTR by 100. And for the same question, if they're asking the total amount, your investment is nothing but 10,000. That is nothing but your principal. And your interest is also 10,000 here. So totally, after the 5 years, you have to pay 20,000 to the person from whom you have taken the money. Okay. And one more point here. Can the simple interest that I have to pay will be equal to principal? Yes, of course. It can be equal. There is no rule that simple interest will be always less than the principal you have taken. If you are not paying in time, or otherwise, if you are taking it for a heavy rate of interest and or huge rate of interest, and if you're keeping that money for a longer time, then whatever the money that you have taken, that will be definitely less than the interest that you need to pay, or otherwise whatever the interest that you have to pay, that will be for sure more than the principal amount that you have taken. Okay. So if you wanted to check out the rules, principal should be always less than total amount, or total amount should be always greater than principal, because total amount is having interest in it. Okay. So that's the simple concept related information for simple interest. In the next videos, you can check the formula related concepts of simple interest questions.